Descartes, in his Discourse on Method, and also in his Meditations on First Philosophy, gives us a great little argument for mind-body non-identity. I won't say he doesn't give other arguments, but here's the main argument, if I'm not mistaken. This is what I take to be the main argument for mind-body non-identity. It relies on something we now call Leibniz's law. It's the principle that if any x and any y have a property distinguishing them, they are distinct things. No one thing has and lacks a property at the same time. Well, mind and body have different properties. Mind has a property which body lacks, and therefore mind cannot be the same thing as body. Or if you like, mind has a property which brain lacks, and therefore mind and brain cannot be the same thing. And the argument goes something like this. I can imagine myself, my mind, existing independently from my body. I cannot imagine my body existing independently from my body. Or if you like, I can imagine my mind existing without my brain, perhaps in a computer program, or perhaps simply floating in space. Maybe physically we don't know how to accomplish this, but metaphysically it might be quite easy. All you need is for God to zap my mind apart from my body, sever the connection or something. That can be done. God can do that. So I can imagine that God does that. I can imagine that this is the case. And so it is possible for my mind to exist apart from my body and even apart from my brain specifically. But I can't imagine my brain existing without my brain or my body existing without my body. Come on, that's not even possible. Therefore, since one has a property the other lacks, the mind is not identical to the brain. Now this is a argument, or a main argument, or the main argument for mind-body non-identity, which you can get from Descartes. And it helps to establish the nature of the soul, and the nature of the mind and the nature of the self, which he says is a purely mental thing. Personal identity is entirely a mental thing, not at all a physical thing. So it's an argument with interesting consequences. But, most importantly, it's an argument that begins early on in the method of doubt, and we have to keep going. In the method of doubt, as Descartes describes it, study Descartes videos in the History of Cartoon playlist on this channel, if you're not sufficiently familiar with this material. In Descartes' method of doubt, we doubt everything in order to find what is certain. Well, the body's not certain, but the mind is. You cannot doubt that you exist, because you have to exist in order to be doubting. And so Descartes gives us this principle, I think, therefore I am. And shortly after that, he goes on to some other arguments which we'll need to examine in this same playlist, and you can expect those to be the next video. Briefly, though, I'll mention something else. That was Method of Doubt, part 4 of the Discourse on Method kind of thing. Meditation on First Philosophy, meditation, I believe it's meditation 2, concerning the mind, how it is better known than the body. But you can extract another argument for mind-body non-identity from Descartes, which I'll briefly give here, and which is much more similar to that you can find in the likes of Jackson's knowledge argument, and What Is It Like to Be a Bat by Thomas Nagel. The argument is something like this. Matter, including the brain, is that which occupies space. Mind is that which thinks. Mind does not occupy space. Matter does not think. This is made of matter. I know it's made of matter, and I know what it is for it to be made of matter. Mind is not like that. What has this to do with consciousness? Nothing whatsoever. And all it is matter. And all the brain is matter, therefore. And all the body is matter, therefore. The body and the brain have no more to do with my mind, have no greater contribution to consciousness than this spoon does. This spoon's not conscious. It has nothing to do with my mind. And all it is all my brain is, and all my body is matter, that which occupies space. Therefore, matter does not produce consciousness. Not the spoon, not the body, not the brain. So there you go. 2 Cartesian analyses of mind-body non-identity. If you think those are good arguments, hold on. There's more coming. And they might not all be good. In fact, they're not.